Hello and welcome back to No Bullshit. Today we finally return to talking about vegans, or more specifically, the crazy ones that are typically losing their shit here on YouTube. Previously, about 2 years ago now, I did a couple of videos about one of the most famous ones ever, Vegan Gains. In fact, my Vegan Gains is Bullshit video recently reached 1 million views too, so seems like a good time to revisit the subject. I also have a link to that original video below if you want to catch up, but for today, we're not actually going to be talking about Vegan Gains himself very much. No, in the time that's passed since the summer of 2017, Vegan Gains has pretty much become irrelevant. Sure, he's still doing his thing and making weird cringy sketches while streaming with his frumpy wife. And of course, Richard is still doing his classic debates, which usually just amount to him yelling, screaming, and going crazy, trying to convince people that veganism is the best diet and lifestyle. I don't know why Richard thinks people would listen to an unhinged ambassador like him, but he clearly does regardless. And this lapse in judgment is why Vegan Gains is failing and falling off to the wayside currently too. But veganism itself is long from being irrelevant, especially here on YouTube. The scene has changed a lot here though over the years. Long gone are the days of creepy and annoying Canadians like Vegan Gains being prominent figures in the vegan scene on this platform. No, now it's mostly dominated by cute vlogger girls, which admittedly is a very nice change of pace. These girls are not only much nicer and lighthearted with their pro-vegan messages, but also, of course, they're much easier on the eyes as well. And put that combination together with a trendy and hip lifestyle like veganism, and well, we can easily see why channels like this are taking over the community. And things seem to be going great for the YouTube vegan community too. It continued to grow and develop its niche all the way through 2018. And this is why I didn't cover the topic much then either. There's really nothing else new to say here. I still of course disagree with veganism myself. I eat meat and I think others should too. Eating meat with its vitamins and proteins are what caused the human race to evolve mentally and physically after all. And it made us the dominant species on this planet like how we are today. And also, the moral argument for veganism is questionable at best, since eating all plants will still cause thousands of animals and rodents to die from pesticides and farm machine accidents. So no, the vegan platform still fails on both the health and moral aspects, and that's why I didn't have much else to say on the topic, that is, until now. You see, that brings us to the latest development in YouTube veganism. A lot of the prominent vloggers about it are quitting it and choosing to eat meat and fish again for health reasons. This move has also sparked lots of controversies about it, to say the least. Also, quitting veganism has become quite the trend, and with that, so too has a number of creators decided to make videos called I'm Not Vegan or something like that in order to capitalize on this hype train. Today we're going to go over 3 different large YouTube channels who announced they are quitting veganism, and while they have some slight variations between the 3 videos, they're also strikingly similar in many ways, as you'll soon see. The 3 channels are called Raw Alignment, Raw Vana, and Bonnie Rebecca, and while only 2 of them have Raw in their names, all 3 of these videos are over 30 minutes long for some reason. These girls basically get into long, rambling discussions about this, because they are struggling with it clearly. That's why they're all about to cry in their videos too, and that's why they kinda don't know what to say once they figure this out, so they just end up saying a lot for a long time, which is kinda bullshit. We don't have time to go over 3 30-minute videos though, clearly, so I'll just show you some of the highlights so we can dig into it a little bit and see what's going on. First off, let's start with Raw Alignment's video called I'm Not Vegan. Check this out.
I literally went from suffering to thriving. How's it going, friends? It's Elise here, and it has been a hot second since I have shared a video here on YouTube. I think it's been over a month or something, which has been the longest that I haven't shared a video ever in the past 4+ years of sharing on here.
No one cares about how long it's been since you posted. I don't know why, but YouTubers always want to start off by apologizing for not posting, but they really shouldn't. Just post when you post. Stop talking about it. I'm sick of seeing this trend all over the website. Also, I love how she starts off saying how she was suffering while vegan, and then coming off of it turned her health around right away. That's great to hear from a former hippy-dippy vegan, but I can't say I'm really surprised to hear it either. There's a reason vegans need to take special vitamins in their diets and supplements. It's because a vegan lifestyle is deficient in a number of nutrients modern human beings need to survive and to thrive. And even with all the right supplements they take, they still have issues, like what we're going to see with these vegans today.
Today, I am going to share with you why I am no longer following a vegan diet. And before diving into the nitty-gritty, the story, I want to just debunk a couple of things real quick. there have been comments and messages floating around the interweb that I am a liar, that I'm lying to myself, that I'm lying to you.
So she has to start things off by explaining and trying to pander to the vegans out there who are already attacking her. And this part just goes to show how toxic that community can be. We've seen some of the worst of it before when we went over Vegan Gains and seen responses from his crazy fans on our videos over the years. And now, not much has changed, as you can clearly see, because this girl in the video now is kind of scared to speak on this, and she's scared to go against the norm of veganism. She's also been called a liar and a coward for quitting veganism. And in my opinion, this toxicity is kind of ironic coming from a community who pretends to be these holier than thou, intellectual and moral superiors. A big part of the reason vegans do it is because they love animals so much, supposedly, and they don't want to see harm or killing in the world at all. Yet these same people, at the same time, they act like mean assholes who hate on other human beings excessively all the time, saying they want to kill us and make us die too. And that doesn't really gel together for me. Also, let's go ahead and skip over this girl's prefaces here though, and get right into why she's quitting veganism.
Let's get down to the nitty-gritty. Most of you know that I have been experiencing health symptoms, health struggles that have been progressively getting worse over the years. I was experiencing symptoms that were a result of my external environment, which had toxic mold in it.
Here's a common trend with these vegans too. They always seem to have all these different kinds of health problems. But instead of blaming the obvious, your radical diet that goes against human nature, well, these hippies will always find something else to blame externally. And sure, I don't doubt that living around toxic mold made things worse, but also, it's your diet that weakened your body and immune system in the first place.
And some of the symptoms that I was experiencing, as I said, progressively getting worse over the past couple of years, were migraine headaches, chronic sinus congestion. Essentially, I could not breathe out of my nose at all. Brain fog, memory loss, appetite loss, extreme appetite loss, inability to articulate myself and communicate properly.
That's a hell of a lot of symptoms for someone who's supposedly a happy and healthy vegan for the last 4 years. I seriously can't believe people have been buying into this girl and her Raw Alignment website for this long. This is equivalent to taking weightlifting advice from someone who's weak with no muscles. Might as well take cooking advice from someone who can't cook or make a peanut butter and jelly without messing it up, because listening to a chronically sick person about your health issues is just as ridiculous.
I started to realize that my internal environment, the food that I consumed, could kind of turn on or turn off the intensity of these symptoms. So I found that really interesting.
Yeah, that's a roundabout way of saying, hey, living off of just eating nuts and berries isn't really a healthy lifestyle. She's also getting at what I said before. Being vegan or eating any other kind of crazy extreme diet, very often it will weaken your health system, making you more likely to get sick. She won't admit this fully, or she really doesn't recognize it, but it was her diet that caused a lot of these symptoms. The toxic mold, if that even existed, well, that probably just made it worse.
And I got so interested, I still am, in the concept of changing my external environment and my internal environment in order to enhance my health. And that concept, that kind of process, is something called biohacking that I've just been so passionate about. And
no, lady, it's not called biohacking. This is called eating a well-balanced diet and not living in a moldy shithole in Hawaii with a bunch of dirty hippies. Just look how gross Raw Alignment used to look a few years ago in her Hawaii days, at the height of her veganism and the height of her channel's popularity too. Yeah, I'm not surprised that some girl with gross dreads and too much body hair is getting sick, living on a hot and wet island with other weird health nuts like her. Not to mention her diet was depriving her of vital sustenance and nutrients. Her body craved meat, just like all of ours do. And she craved it so bad for so many years, this Raw Alignment girl was literally losing her mind and memory. And then, surprise, surprise, as we'll soon see, as soon as she started eating meat again, she got better right away. And she also looks worlds better in this video that we're watching today, compared to that hippie with dreads she looked like before.
I had 8 ounces of salmon one night, and I woke up the next morning with 0 congestion and 0 brain fog, 0 migraine, 0 lack of clarity. I felt the best that I had in probably like 3 years.
And there you have it. All it took was a small portion of salmon and this girl was feeling worlds better the next day. It's funny it took her so long to realize this too. And it's also a little sad. These nut bars really try and stick to their guns so much. They are literally killing themselves. I bet this girl is wishing she had tried salmon years ago too, but instead she stuck to her vegan diet despite it not being in her best interest. At least not physically. She was probably doing it for monetary reasons. And this is also like how she stuck to living in Hawaii despite the toxic mold supposedly killing her slowly too. Next, let's look at Bonnie Rebecca's video about quitting veganism because she had some similar moments in hers too. Not only did Bonnie almost cry over this, but also she and her boyfriend remained vegan despite having a number of other long-term chronic symptoms because of it. But much like Raw Alignment, Bonnie and her boo wanted to blame external factors because in a way they were too wrapped up in this cult-like community of vegans on YouTube.
Here it goes. I'm not vegan anymore. As you can probably tell by the title of this video, I was vegan for just over 5 years and it was kind of everything to me. It was my whole life, my whole identity. It was the motivation behind my YouTube channel. It was just my whole world. It was something I believed so strong down to my core.
How sad. I seriously feel sorry for people like this. If the most interesting thing about you is what you eat for breakfast, you're really a sad and boring person who needs to get a hobby or something. Veganism is not a personality trait, just like how being a vegetarian or a carnivore isn't either. But it does go to show how invested these pretty vegan girls are in this community on YouTube. As she said, this was her entire world. Still is. And when you base your life on a failing and flawed diet, this is what eventually happens. They make these lame apology videos and almost lose their channel. And I also noticed this girl, Bonnie, she quit veganism after about 5 years too, which is a similar amount of time that the previous girl, Raw Alignment, quit. So here's the pattern we're seeing so far. Pretty, not so bright girls eventually decide to try dieting for the first time, usually when they're around 20, maybe in their late teens or early 20s. And first, they feel great on the vegan diet, because before veganism, they never tried it. They never tried any diet, and they ate shit like fast food and soda every day. So obviously switching to veganism, or any diet for that matter, this will make them feel great at first, for a while. But then after a year or two, the lack of fish or meat nutrients kicks in, and these same girls start feeling shitty again down the road. This time it is worse though. It's not just a fatty, I eat crappy so I feel shitty and tired feeling. No, this time vegans break out in hives, or they get congested, or their brains just stop working completely. They will still resist giving in for a while though, because they're stubborn and or very stupid and not bright. But as it seems, at some time around 5 years in, vegans begin to quit and realize they were wrong all along.
So I hope you know that this was not an easy decision for me to make, and yeah, fuck no. Man, this video is probably going to be really long. It's probably going to be messy, but it's the only way that I can talk about it right now. So
I get it. You're going to be really wordy and apologetic here, just like the last girl. That's because these chicks are trying to save their channels from imploding on themselves. Also, let's be real, they're still suffering from some brain fog, which causes their videos to come out rambly and very long-winded. Fortunately though, I can skip through a lot of their bullshit because we don't have time to watch 20-somethings cry because they have to eat cheeseburgers now in order to stay healthy. Boo-hoo.
Anyway, because we had kind of gone down this like natural path and like natural healing, we were kind of like not against doctors, but just like we were skeptical to go to one because we thought they're not going to be able to help us with this problem. They're probably just going to give him medication, and we really wanted to fix like the root cause of it naturally. So we were more trying to do our own research.
Two 20-something Australians think they know more about nutrition than professionally trained and certified doctors and physicians. Well, that's a classic vegan story right there. A lot of these wannabe health nuts are like this too. They're just smart enough to think they know it all, but too dumb to really figure things out fully. And why are these longtime vegans going around to see lots of doctors anyway? I thought this lifestyle was so healthy and good for your body. Doesn't sound like it really is to me though, since so many vegans begin suffering these debilitating symptoms over time after practicing this vegan lifestyle multiple years. Might as well go back to eating whatever you like though. I mean, that's worked for me. I'm not having any stupid symptoms like this. And I may be a bit of a big dude too, but I'm certainly not suffering from chronic ailments like these chicks who can't think right or poop straight because their bodies are so deprived of the meat they need. And in case you're wondering, I think and poop just fine, thank you very much. And I plan on keeping it that way too. That's why I'm not starving my body of vital nutrients like what these vegan idiots are doing.
So the first thing he started eating was some fish and eggs. He had fish twice a day for lunch and dinner and eggs for breakfast. And within about 5 days, all of his symptoms had cleared. Yeah, trying to wrap my head around that was one of the hardest weeks ever.
Yeah, I believe you actually. This is like what a kid feels like when they discover Santa Claus isn't real, or if some guy finds out that their wife has been cheating on them since they first met. Realizing veganism is wrong and people need to eat meat in their diet can be a tough pill to swallow for many vegans, especially the hardcore ones like these YouTubers we've seen today. And this girl Bonnie and her boyfriend were getting really sick too. I had to skip over about 20 minutes of her describing all the symptoms and doctors they visited to try and get this fixed. And as it turns out, just like with the raw alignment video before, all it took for Bonnie and her boyfriend was eating a small amount of animal products to feel better, because that's what the human race is designed to eat, and that's what our body needs. Lastly, let's get to the third video, which is also very similar. This one's from the channel called Rawvana English, and it's called What Is Happening?
Hi fam. Hey guys. I don't think there was ever gonna be the perfect time for me to make this video. I definitely did not feel ready to talk about this or share it. And first of all, I just want to say that I'm really sorry about the way that the news were communicated to you.
Okay, so this one seems a lot more choppy and apologetic, and I think I know why. Rawvana here actually has a bit of a different spin on her I'm not a vegan video, because she actually got caught eating fish recently, prior to this video's release. That's why she seems so insincere and forced too, because she's apologizing, but it's only because she got caught. It's also a lot more embarrassing because it makes it look like Rawvana was trying to pretend she was still vegan in order to keep her appearances up and keep her YouTube channel afloat. And as we've seen already, the vegan community is very toxic, unforgiving, and rather rude too, so that's why some of these girls look like broken and beaten and sheltered housewives in their I'm not a vegan videos, because they're scared, and well, frankly, they kind of should be.
I was vegan, completely vegan, for over 6 years, and it's been 2 months since I started incorporating eggs and fish into my diet. And I just want to be completely honest and authentic and truthful with you guys.
You don't seem very honest and authentic at all, lady. You seem like someone who is scared to lose their cushy YouTube gig, so you're trying to spin this quitting veganism shit into a positive. I really think these girls have a lot more to apologize for though, because not only were they hurting themselves and those around them by adopting a bogus diet that's deficient in what your body needs, but also they've been pushing this shit onto people in the public for years. They've been encouraging people to become vegan and spreading a long debunked ideology, all because they wanted to be feel-good hippies who could also make money off this shit while they do it. It's also worth noting that this girl quit veganism at around 6 years, very close to the about 5 years that the last girl stated. Seems to be the sweet spot then. 5 to 6 years is all the body can take on a vegan diet. Then you better start eating some meat or you just might die.
But one thing that did happen after my water fast was that I lost my period. By this time, talking to other people who were in the movement, they're like, no, it's normal, it's okay, you're still ovulating, you're just not bleeding. I even thought that it was a good thing at one point. So that went on for 2 years. I didn't have my period for 2 years.
Jesus Christ, lady, you didn't have your period for 2 years and yet you still continued the vegan diet? These people are freaking crazy, and also just flat out dumb and stubborn too. She also went over how when she started veganism, she felt great at first because she was eating like shit before. And this of course is exactly what happened to the last girls too. Start veganism, feel great at first, and then a year or two later, and you're having bad symptoms and ailments. Or worse, you could not be getting your period like Rawvana here. These people are literally neutering themselves because of their obsessions with health and being morally superior to everyone else. Kind of crazy, but also very sad too.
Ever since I started to go with them, they would always say, you need eggs. Just eat some eggs and you'll be fine. And I was like, no, I'm not gonna eat eggs. Like, I can do it with the plant-based diet. I always knew that doctors would recommend that, but I didn't pay attention to it.
Yeah, don't listen to doctors. Just take the word of some other young and dumb 20-somethings on YouTube. What a joke. These vegans ignore doctors and professionals time and time again. Because why? Because they're trying to be some kind of martyr for their stupid cause.
It didn't even take that long. It only took like 5 days for me to actually feel better. But 2 weeks ago was when I really started to feel a lot better. I'm feeling like myself again. I feel energy again. I feel good. I don't feel bloated. I feel...
Long story short, we got another hot vegan chick who was getting really sick over the years because of that diet. In the end, Rawvana felt better after eating animal products again right away, just like the last two girls. And all three of them are so goddamn similar, it's actually quite amazing. And it's funny to see this trend of videos about not being vegan anymore pop up on YouTube in 2019. Rawvana here is certainly getting the most shit for this though, as she should. She was the one who kinda low-key lied about it, and appears to only be apologizing because she got caught. What do you guys think? Why are the vegans dropping like flies right now? Has this trend just run its course? Or is it because it all started around 5 years ago, and 5 to 6 years without meat is all your body can really take? And one last thing, do you guys want me to make a part 2 follow-up about the Vegan Gains situation specifically? I mentioned in the description of the last video about him that I might make a part 2, so if you want to see a bit more about veganism and what Richard Vegan Gains has been up to lately, hit the like button below this video. Let's see if we could get, say, 5,000 likes and I'll make another video about vegans and vegan gains. Until then though, thanks for watching today's video. Really appreciate your time, and make sure you leave a juicy comment below. Until then, we'll see y'all next time.